Married at first sight. Our couples have less than 2 weeks left together, and they're off for a weekend retreat to hopefully help improve their relationships. We might as well dive in to our first couple right away here. And I first wanted to talk about Miles and Karen. They are kind of in this bizarre little situation right now where they are just full on in the friend zone. There's no sort of intimacy, no sort of romance happening there. They seem like they're great together. They really get along well. When we have the couples, like the stranger couples competition, where you're trying to reveal that who knows their partner the best. Miles and Karen, they take it away. They win that. In social settings, they seem really good together. But then behind the scenes, no romance, no intimacy, and not much hope for them to say yes on decision day. There is still time for things to turn around for Miles and Karen, and I think the onus is really on Karen to push this relationship across the finish line if it's something that she sees herself staying with for the rest of her life. Now, from what we've seen from Karen, there's something holding her back from the physical side of the relationship, and I really feel like if they're 3 months into the relationship and there's been nothing more than some light kissing, I just don't really think that there is that sexual chemistry there. There's just some sort of attraction lacking, and even if they had sex at this point in the season, I just don't think that would even be enough for both of them to be willing to say yes on decision day. This is a kind of a bizarre season for really, I would say, Miles and Karen and Henry and Christina, because we have two couples that it almost feels like they never tried. Karen never really gave this relationship a full chance, and now it's at the end of the season and it's about to slip away, and all that she really needed to do was jump in with 2 feet and really commit to the relationship in order to find out if it was right or wrong for her, and she just didn't do it. And then on the other side, we've got Henry and Christina, and they've just kind of been in limbo all season long. Like, obviously, we know now that Henry is a very reserved, very awkward person, and never going to be the guy who takes the lead in his relationship. And there's Christina, like, she knows roughly what she wants. She knows what Henry wants. She's got like basically a clear path to say, hey, if I do these things, this relationship is going to have a really good chance of working out. And she's just not done any of those things. She knows that if she wants any sort of intimacy out of the relationship, that she really needs to take the lead on that, and has just really, at least from what we've seen, has refused to do that this season. She also knows like what the things about her that Henry really is not comfortable with or doesn't like, and that's her impatience, her dishonesty, and her rudeness. And those are some things that can potentially be addressed and possibly changed, or at least improved, that would greatly help their relationship. And Christina's really just not been willing to put any effort in towards that all season long. Another thing we need to talk about here is last week we got hit with the cliffhanger of basically Christina just accusing Henry of being gay, and then we hit tonight's episode and it's not addressed. It's just kind of swept under the rug and we're moving on. At this point, I see no chance of Henry and Christina working out. So might as well not waste too much time talking about them, because that is going to be a firm no come decision day. All right, next up, I want to talk about Amani and Woody. I really like this couple, but we're starting to get more of these little moments from Woody where he just can't help himself and he just continues to dig himself a hole. And a lot of it, I think, is Woody just not fully being able to clearly communicate what he's trying to say. You know, we had that scene of Amani and Woody playing dominoes together, and Woody's kind of going on this little rant about, you know, if we weren't this, if we weren't that, I couldn't do it. And in my opinion, what he was really trying to say is, hey, if our relationship resembled Henry and Christina's, I just wouldn't be able to do it. You know, if our relationship resembled some of these relationships that have done really poorly this season, I just wouldn't be able to do it. And that's totally fine for him to say, but the way he was saying it, it kind of came across as more of like, hey, if you ever do anything like this, we're done. And I don't think that was really what Woody was trying to say, but it sure came off that way. And Amani, she sort of understands that this is kind of what Woody does. And she kind of described it as a small thing that she could look past. But, you know, the more and more it happens, the more that it starts to create some little cracks in that relationship that hopefully a Woody and Amani can repair before they get too big. I'm still very optimistic for them come decision day, and would be very nice to have more than one couple stick together this season. All right, lastly, we have Amelia and Bennett. They are still just the cutest couple of the season. We still all love them very, very much. And they just continue to be kind of this ridiculously adorable couple. Like even the end scene tonight where Bennett is singing that ridiculous nursery rhyme to Amelia, and he's laughing and giggling all along, and like turns over, and Amelia is actually just zonked out cold. And it's not even the first time we've seen her do that this season. Like earlier in the season, I think it was actually the honeymoon where they made the pillow for it, and Bennett's just talking away to her, and turn over, and she is just out cold. I guess she's one of those people who can just go to sleep like right now. I'm a little jealous of that because I most certainly am not one of those people. Not much to report on Amelia and Bennett. It sounded like Amelia has started her residency. Normally, the season would have already been over by now, so it wouldn't have been an issue. But now they got to be trying to film the end of the season, plus her starting a major step in her life. A little bit awkward, and hopefully it doesn't shake things up too much for Amelia and Bennett. And of course, I just know that they're going to say yes on decision day. All right, before I wrap up, just one last thing I want to talk about, and that was Miles addressing the Black Lives Matter, police brutality, and systemic racism that has been going on in the States. Well, more than just this year, but it's had a lot more attention in the media and on TV this year. And I just wanted to say that every time that those conversations get aired on TV, the more chance that people have to listen to someone's feelings on what's going on in the United States with the Black Lives Matter and with the police brutality is good. You know, it's all about getting that message and getting those stories to as many people as possible. And I really appreciate it any time that, especially on primetime TV, that we get some more attention to those issues that are affecting many people across the United States right now. All right, I'm going to wrap things up there for tonight. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.